What's up, guys? It's Flash with tradingwithflash.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Sit Down with Flash. In today's episode, it is Garage Day Trader, so stay tuned. What's up, guys? It's Flash with tradingwithflash.com. Welcome to another episode of Live Talks with Flash. Today's episode, we have Justin from Garage Day Trader. Justin, how are you?
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Good. Appreciate you taking the time, buddy. You're probably you're busy man, but I appreciate you taking the time. So let's kind of get straight into it. Where did you get the name Garage Day Trader?
I trade from my garage, so wasn't that creative? Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'm in
okay.
my garage when I'm trading, so.
That's that's pretty cool. I didn't know that. It's good when names actually have meanings and they're literally what they are. What did you do before trading?
I still have a full-time job. This trading is not my full-time job. I still have a career that pays all the bills. Trading's all supplemental, so I still work.
Oh, you still have a job and do this? Do you do this part-time then or full-time?
I do pretty much both full-time. I do my job, my career, that's full-time, and I do trading almost full-time with the amount of work and time that I put into everything. So I pretty much have two full-time jobs is the way I look at it.
And do you work from home?
No.
I
have a career. I can't really talk about it too much. My company asked me not to talk about it publicly, so yeah.
No, of course. But what I'm trying to say is that you actually have to go to a job each day.
I got about an hour commute to where I work, so
Sure, nice. Okay. And when do you go see yourself going full time in the future?
I would have to be making significantly more money trading to ever do that, just because my job comes with a pension and benefits and retirement, and my family depends on all that stuff. So.
Okay, well, nice. Each to their own. And kind of, what made you get into trading?
I got interested in the stock market probably 5-6 years ago, just trying to find a way to make extra money without having to work, essentially. So that's when I first started getting interested in it, and then about 2 years ago, day trading, and I've just gone from there.
So you have no previous history in finance or your family or anything like that?
My family's nurses, electricians, absolutely no. Didn't go to college for finance, went to that for computer science related stuff.
And so you've been trading 2 years, you're saying, even though you're introduced to it 5 or 6 years ago?
I've been day trading for about 2 years. I've been doing longer term stuff for about 5 to 6 years.
Okay. And for the channel gets a lot of beginner people kind of tuning in. I get emails all the time asking how long does it take you to turn profit and stuff like this. So each person is very different. So I kind of like to give them feedback to say it's not to say 6 months to a year, or some people are profitable straight away. Everybody is different. Can you tell me a little bit about before when you started, how long did it take you to become profitable?
Sure. So when I first started, the things that got me are the things that you see, on YouTube all the time, all the penny stock guys doing I turned, $3,000 into $100,000, drank the Kool-Aid on that for a little while, tried it, didn't work out like it doesn't for a lot of people. So that's when I changed course to the larger caps, started doing what I do now. And once I did that, it probably took me about 4 or 5 months of learning that strategy before I really started to be green on a more consistent basis.
And what strategy is that? What to everybody out there who's only tuning in, kind of what is your strategy?
The main thing I like to do is market open, gap down reversals. So a stock that is gapping down big in pre-market, I like to look for a pullback at the open and then find a spot to go short once that pullback is over.
Yeah, so you're
Absolutely.
A short
I do
trader.
take longs, but I will take a short over a long every single time.
Yeah, it is. And there's a lot of people out there who I'm in contact with is they find their success in short. It seems to be, it's a case of, I once heard a guy say, I thought it was quite intelligent. Now, I don't really short. I'm not very good at shorting at all, so it's not one of my strengths. Not something I focus on. But this guy was a short bias trader as well. He said 90% of people in the market fail, which is true. And he says, so do everything the opposite to what the 90% people are doing. So instead of buying a short it, which I thought was quite funny. I've never really heard of anyone explain it like that. So yeah, you're short bias traders. As well, to the beginners, pros and cons in your eyes.
Well, I mean, the cons are obviously it takes a long time to really become consistent and, actually start to see money. Most people, when they get into trading, as you know, they see the people like me or you or whoever else on YouTube making money, and they think that's easy. I can do that. I'm just going to start making money right away. And that is absolutely not the case. Even for, more
Hmm.
experienced traders, I don't think I'm overly experienced, but I've had some amount of success where other people haven't. So I think that's part of the reason that people watch my channel some. But even for experienced traders, you still have big down draws, you still have streaks of losing, and you feel like you have no idea what you're doing. So you really have to be persistent, you have to be determined to make it work, and you have to be able to accept the losses.
And that's it. And I really stress that point across as well. It's not a get rich quick scheme, although some people are out there marking it as such things. It just doesn't work like that whatsoever. Like, I was trading probably like 8 9 months at the time, and I wiped out a month's worth of gains in a day. It's all gone, and these things happen. So I do like to stress that point as well to people kind of getting into the market, is it's not really a get rich quick scheme whatsoever. It does take time to learn it, and even at that, you could be trading a year or two and you think you're green, and next of all you just fuck it
Right,
up. It's all
exactly.
gone. um Kind of, in terms of kind of education, did you have education, or who did you learn from, and how important is education
Yeah,
to
I mean,
you?
I think everybody's going to do it a different way. There's no one right way to do it, and there's no one right way to trade. In my mind, it's all about figuring out what makes sense to you and figuring out a way to make that work. So, the way I learned was from watching tons of different people trade on YouTube. And that was just live trades. I didn't want to see like recaps or anything. I wanted to see people trading, see what they were doing, try and figure out why they were doing it. I learned from Mir and TradeNet and his book and all that. I think he's got a really good book. A lot of the basis of my strategy is based around those fundamentals, mixed with YouTube, and then mixed with kind of just coming up with my own way that I like to do things through trial and error.
Okay, so there was no one kind of, other than you mentioned me or Brack there. There's no one kind of that you would say I've learned a lot from this. It's, you're more self-taught
Yeah,
than
I
anything
didn't take
else.
any courses. I didn't have any mentors or anything that I've talked to. It's been pretty much just going along, learning as I go, learning what works for me and what doesn't.
Okay, it's pretty interesting because, like, with me personally, when I tried to learn it on my own on YouTube, and I thought I knew everything, um, and I didn't, and I got burned, and I had to kind of go back to education and kind of look at multiple different courses, and that's what helped me personally. But it's interesting you say that, because it just shows everybody's different. I mean, you can learn it all off YouTube, I guess, if you have a lot longer time
Right.
period, and you want to sift through a lot of the waste, or a lot of videos that aren't have the answers. But in saying that, you can't do
Right.
it. It's, the answers are there, I guess. You just
Yeah, and
have
by
to
no
search
means
for
am I
them.
saying don't go out and take a course. I think courses are a great idea. It's just that's never been the way that I've really learned to do things. I'm more of a learn by doing than learn by, reading a textbook or, you know, taking a course or thing. So that's just kind of how that works out for me. But for other people, there's people that I work with personally that, they've come a long way just by, talking to them and helping them out. People have mentors, that stuff works for them. In my mind, it's really all about what you're comfortable with. And if you're comfortable with taking a course, if you don't have the fundamentals down, then courses can be really valuable to you.
No, yeah, no, I like it. I like it. Kind of going back to you, you're saying your style is short bias trader. Um, how important is it to you to read into the depth of candle patterns and things like that, or do you just, are you a type of trader like you just focus on more of a pattern, or are you reading each
I'm
individual
very
candle?
pattern focused. So I I like to find the pattern in the chart, and then once I see the pattern and I determine where I want my entry and stop loss to be, I kind of stop watching the chart altogether, and I just focus on the level 2 and the time and sales, because those are the, in my opinion, the two most important things to watch when you're trading. The chart is great, but the level 2 and the time and sales really tells you what's going on.
Okay, so you're not a type of short trader that will solely read off the candle patterns.
I mean, I'm mostly technical, yeah. So if I'm looking for, if there's a bear flag or something like that, absolutely. That's what I'm going to determine my entry and risk reward off of, is the candle patterns. But once I've got that based on that pattern, that's when I move over to the level 2 and time and sales.
Okay, so yeah, you're kind of similar technical trade like myself, solely focuses off patterns, breakouts, and reading each candle pattern when in a trade. So kind of we're kind of changing it a little bit. We're kind of going to get into when you started. You kind of mentioned that you went through the penny stock idea and kind of people making it out there that it's it is what it is, and kind of smoke and mirrors. Now, don't get me wrong. I did try kind of trade penny stocks as well at the start. It wasn't really for me. I also tried to trade cryptos, but I was trading them in the wrong manner, and anyways, it was a big mess. But kind of going back to the point of, you were saying that you got into pennies. It is quite dangerous out there. So anybody kind of watching this, some people market themselves as it is a get rich quick scheme. What's your feedback on that, and kind of looping people into the smoke and mirrors? Now, granted, like I said, it does work for some people, but there's people out there it doesn't work for as well. So it's kind of a 50-50
Right, yeah. I mean, there's
flip.
people out there that are great at the penny stock stuff, like, Patrick Weiland. I think he's really got his strategy down for it. You just got to realize that with that stuff, if you're just I
really like Patrick's channel.
He's a cool guy. But
yeah, he is. He's his stuff's really good. Like, and we're kind of getting off topic a little bit, but the last few months when I've been watching him, he's changed. It's like he woke up one day and he's completely
well, he's just taking a lot bigger size, and when you do that, your green jays are going to be a lot bigger.
But holy shit! I mean, like, even when he was trading like normal, he'd be red like a fair bit. Like, he wasn't always green, and now he's green, and he's huge green. Do you think it was down to the case of him just changing
I don't think
share
it was
size?
just share size. I think there's a lot of people who kind of go through that aha moment when you're day trading, where you're going through and you're just kind of going through the motions, and you don't have that feeling, and then all of a sudden one day something about it clicks for you, and you can see everything a lot clearer. You can do everything a lot clearer, and I think he really kind of had that recently, and he knows exactly what he wants to do, and he executes it.
Yeah, no, I was like completely blown away, because it went on. He was green for a long time, like, and he's only started to upload the last 2 days. I've noticed he kind of had a week or 2 weeks off there. But yeah, it's funny you say that. I really like his channel. Right. We kind of got sidetracked there. Sorry, Justin, go ahead.
With the penny stock stuff, like I said, the reason I bring him up is because, can you be successful at it? Yeah, absolutely. Do I personally think it's a lot harder to do than other strategies? Yes, I also think that. And I think that, the reason that people get so interested in them is because you can start doing it with a lot less money. And that's what makes it appealing to, the majority who can't afford, like me even, to have a PDT account with $25,000 in it. So people see these marketing things, and I turn, $2,000 into $100,000 in 6 months, and they get sucked into it. And it's just not reality. Whether or not that stuff is legit, it doesn't even matter to me. It's inconsequential. People just need to realize that if you're going to do it on your own, there's a 99.9% chance that that's not going to be what happens for you.
No, yeah. I'm kind of, like, don't get me wrong, I do trade low cap stocks as well, but I do have a rule set in. Like, I'd never trade anything too low, like all these $100. I'd never trade anything like that, and my style is different. I wouldn't class myself as I trade penny stocks, because I think, like, buying 50 to 100,000 shares of a stock that's 10 cents, it's like, I just don't understand that aspect to it. But people kind of have this this theory of people like in the stock market, this flash lifestyle, and I mean it's painted out like that from the
Yeah.
films, and we can thank Leonardo DiCaprio for that and Jonah Hill, but kind of like you people watching it who's never seen you before on YouTube, do you live a normal
Yeah, I
lifestyle,
mean,
or
it's beyond normal except for the fact that I probably work twice as much as the normal person, and I don't get to go out and drive the Lambos or go to Bali or whatever. On a typical day for me, that I say I'm working my regular job that day, I'll wake up, I'll trade all morning, I'll make my video, I'll go to work all night, I'll come home, get about 4 hours of sleep, and start the process all over again. So it's really a nonstop grind every single day for me. Then I have my family life as well, my wife, my daughter. We've got another baby on the way. So if Thank you. So
congratulations?
my life is certainly not that glamorous, flashy life. My life in trading, and my idea of trading, is to have a supplemental income that can help me and my family. But I'm not trying to. Would I love to make $1 million? Absolutely. Do I think it's going to happen anytime soon? Not at all. So I'm just happy taking my small wins, take my small little money that I make, and just help me and my family out.
Okay, so you kind of from talking to you, kind of just seem like a humble, down to earth person who's just doing it to make a better life for his family, and you don't expect this extravagant result
Right.
in the end.
No, I mean that's how I look at it. When I first started trading, especially if anybody goes and looks at like my early on videos in my channel, I was using a lot bigger size on a lot bigger moves, and I was pretty reckless. So I was trying when I first started, I was still in that mindset of I just want to make a lot of money really quick. And I learned I had some great big winning days and months doing that, but I would also have, like you talked about earlier, those giant down draws where one day could wipe out an entire week, an entire month of profits doing that kind of trading. So after I experienced that probably 2 or 3 times, I had two or three big down draws that kind of wiped everything out. And after that, I said, okay, I got to make a change. I got to do something different. I just want to have that slow, steady upward grind, kind of like the stock market makes over many years, just that slow incline. And I'll be happy to take that.
Okay, it's kind of like you know what you want. You're not in any hurry to do it. Um, like you're still a working normal guy, which I respect that, and like myself, well, this is my full time job, so this is my job. But still a normal guy, like just a down to earth. Over here in Ireland, it's like it's kind of unheard of that you trade the
Really?
stock market, or you invest in the stock market. Like in the US,
Right.
it's so common, but here, if you're on a night out and someone says, "Oh, what do you do?" Well, I trade stocks. It's like, whoa, they're just waiting on the
Right.
yacht to pull up, but it's not like that. Um, Finally, Justin, like where do you see yourself in the next 5-10 years?
I mean, really, my only goal is to slowly grow my channel, slowly grow my trading. When I first started my channel just a little over a year ago, my only goal was to make myself a better trader because I knew if people were watching me, I was going to essentially be forced to be more disciplined in my trading because I wasn't going to have just myself to be accountable to. As I'm sure you're aware, when you put this stuff out on YouTube, the haters and the critics, they come crawling. So, as
Yeah.
much as that stuff kind of gets to you sometimes, overall, that was the idea when I first started the channel. So 5, 10 years from now, I just still want to be in the game. And, one day maybe I'll be doing bigger stuff, making more money on a daily basis. But for now, completely happy with where I'm at.
Sure, I did hear I think Cameron Foose says it as well. It's like just all about surviving at the start. You just gotta
All
survive,
right.
and if you can make it through the storm, then you're pretty okay.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, I would like to eventually move on to my own account that's not part of just TradeNet where they're taking part of my profits and all that. I would love to have my own, account through Lightspeed or Speed Trader or something like that. So that's a more like within a year goal. I'd love to be there if I can, but we'll see.
Sure. Well, look, you keep making the goals, keep knocking them down. Justin, look, I want to thank you for your time, guys. Justin does have a chat room if you are interested in joining Garage Day Trader chat room. I will put a link in the description below if any of you are out there thinking of it. And for all you beginners, don't forget, if you are only watching this, I did prepare a full A to Z module on how to get started in the stock market. It is free, and there's a link in the description below. Justin, brother, I want to thank you so much
All
for
right,
your
no
time.
problem, Flash. Thanks.